bedroom so that I could get a good night's sleep. Or suggested that we all sleep together in the same bed together.
Meet Madeline Soto. She was only 13 years old when she was reported missing. On February 2024, in the state of Florida, where she lived with her mother, Jennifer Soto, and her mother's boyfriend, Stephan Stern. Stephan claimed that he dropped off Madeline early that morning. He insisted on going to McDonald's and decided to park in the parking lot of a church close by to try to convince her, but she refused, so he decided to drop her off at school. He later said that he actually dropped her off in front because he was embarrassed of his vehicle. When the mother called the school, she confirmed that her daughter indeed did not make it to school. Jennifer reported her daughter missing, and after an intense 5-day search, Madeline was found in a wooded area of Osceola County.
She does, but she left it at home today. I have it.
You have it.
And I've already gone through her messages.
Okay. How about, did she have like an Apple Watch?
She's got a device. The only device she's got on her right now is her school laptop.
Her school laptop? Is that trackable?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
It should be. It should be.
If the Wi-Fi is turned on, it'll try to connect to any Wi-Fi.
So if I like circle here.
Can I send any USB?
Well, does she not have a history of running away or anything? She's just hanging out time kind of?
Possibly, I don't know. She got dropped off. She was like, so she's embarrassed by his car. So she didn't want to be dropped off at school. She wanted to be dropped off like half a block away so she can walk.
It's an image thing. She's in the face.
But he dropped her off half a block away and drove away.
Okay. Did she ever go to school though?
No, we called school.
She was walking in that direction. She was rifling through her backpack, just looking for something. I thought maybe she was just looking for headphones before she got her walking on.
Yeah.
But she was just kind of, shambling over in that direction. It looked the same as any other morning. Okay.
This is mom right here. By any chance, does she have a phone number or phone?
She does, but she left it at home today. I have it.
You have it.
And I've already gone through her messages.
Okay. How about, did she have like an Apple Watch?
She's got a device. The only device she's got on her right now is her school laptop.
Her school laptop? Is that trackable?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
It should be. It should be.
If the Wi-Fi is turned on, it'll try to connect to any Wi-Fi.
So if I like circle here.
Can I send any USB?
Well, does she not have a history of running away or anything? She's just hanging out time kind of?
Possibly, I don't know. She got dropped off. She was like, so she's embarrassed by his car. So she didn't want to be dropped off at school. She wanted to be dropped off like half a block away so she can walk.
It's an image thing. She's in the face.
But he dropped her off half a block away and drove away.
Okay. Did she ever go to school though?
No, we called school.
She was walking in that direction. She was rifling through her backpack, just looking for something. I thought maybe she was just looking for headphones before she got her walking on.
Yeah.
But she was just kind of, shambling over in that direction. It looked the same as any other morning. Okay.
What was the last thing you asked?
If she had went to school, I think that's what it was.
So I got confirmation from the school that she never made it. They sent me an email saying she didn't make it. But I also spoke to her or emailed one of her teachers directly, and he looked at all her attendance for all her periods and told me she'd make it at all today.
Okay.
Say it again? No, she's supposed to have a book bag. She was supposed to go to school, but didn't go to school today.
Good.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Battery FGOA 212319 Turtleback Loop. Third party for Saturday.
Okay.
Complaint
Alright.
Children
Cool.
by two juvenile males. Request
Say it
1045
again?
only. It's code 21945.
I'm trying to figure out secondary spots, but so far negative on anything. Yeah, you could be 51 to me. Alright, cool. Very cool, too. Alright, cool.
I'm getting the
Attention Sector 4 units, prepare to copy a local from OPD at Florence.
Yeah, it said negative on that hit at the park.
Way,
So.
reference A21 to a vehicle. Pursuing local, reference A21 to a vehicle.
I think
Going
black
to be
shorts.
an unknown male, gray hoodie,
Possibly
black pants, black ski mask,
white Crocs with socks.
No further information. 1064, 1946.
And when was the last time you seen her? Do you know around what time?
Around 8:30, 8:40 when we dropped her off.
How tall is she?
5'1",
Weight?
110 pounds,
About 110, 120.
Hair color?
blonde.
Blonde, like a dirty blonde.
Like a dirty blonde?
Like normal.
Okay. Eye color?
Blue.
Does she have any markings on her, like any scars or anything
There's
like that?
a distinctive beauty mark on her face
On her
here.
face?
On the face, like below the nose or near the nose?
Yeah, like right in that area there. It's very distinctive. You'd know it if you saw it. Big.
Any other scars or anything like that? Which you know?
Scars?
No.
Tattoo?
Tattoos? No.
You'd be surprised. Did you put out the description?
I put the top part out. I didn't get the rest of that stuff here, so I can put it out.
County 30 to 42. Updated 14, 48, white female.
Can I just see that phone?
Black shorts, white plastic socks, approximately 5'1", blonde, dirty blonde hair, blue eyes, has a beauty mark under the nose.
I'm getting a random 407 number. Okay. Hello? Yes? Hi, Principal. I'm okay. How are you? No, currently police officers here right now.
Start getting the
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find her
paperwork.
anything.
Does she have any social media or anything like that?
She has an Instagram.
Right here.
Private. Just family,
Thank you
cousins,
so much. I
friends.
definitely appreciate it.
Right here.
That's her profile?
Yeah.
Little figure.
She also has a YouTube page.
Okay. Any Snapchat or?
She
Let me get
plays
that.
games.
No, that's the daughter.
She plays games. She plays like Minecraft.
At this point in the investigation, detectives believe that Madeline had been deceased the day before being reported missing due to apartment complex videos showing a young girl slumped over in the passenger seat. After Stern reportedly dropped off Madeline at school, he decided to cruise around from 8:40 to 10 a.m. when he realized the vape shop was closed. When he returned home, he decided to leave again at 11 a.m. to the vape shop. He also decided to return home again and leave at 12:45, where he ran errands to area US 192. He was reportedly headed to House Rules games on Oak Street, but he did not make it that far because he did indeed get a flat tire. At 2:35, Stern says he arrived home after fixing the flat tire, but at 4:35, multiple cameras captured what is believed to be Stern arriving to the complex trash compactor in the Lincoln sedan, where they did find matching tread patterns of Stern's rear passenger tire, along with Madeline's book bag.
Tuesday, February 27th, 12:05 hours for OCSO case 24-011313. It's Detective Hunt. Can you state your full name?
Stephan Stern.
All right, Stephan. Real quick, you sort of affirm that everything you're about to tell me is the truth?
Yes.
Perfect. So you know kind of why I'm at here, right? Involving. When is the last time that you saw?
Dropped her off yesterday morning.
Okay. About what time was it?
Approximately sometime between 8:25 and 8:40ish is when I dropped her off.
And where were you dropping her to?
I was taking her to school.
Got it. And it's my understanding that you dropped her off like a little bit away from school.
Yeah, she sometimes likes to get dropped off a bit down the road away. She likes to walk over and catch up with her friends, or just not being seen getting out of a hoopty in front of school.
Okay. And when you say hoopty, you're referring to your
My car that she's embarrassed to be seen getting out of.
Got it. Okay. Where did you drop her off at? Do you remember approximately?
It was...
You're good.
It was along the stretch of road, kind of where all those communities are, leading up to the overpass, and then the school's on the other side of the overpass. So I dropped her off along that stretch where all those communities are.
Gotcha. Is it like on the sidewalk or near parking lots?
There's a sidewalk there. And then they've got the church on the other side of the street, and then the overpass, and then the school. So it was maybe no more than a block away.
Okay. Is the school within like eyesight of where you drop her off? Or is
The
it
overpass was definitely within eyesight, and the school was literally just on the other side of the overpass.
Gotcha. So if you were to guesstimate it, would it be like a quarter mile, half mile?
Yeah, maybe like a 5-10 minute walk, depending on your speed.
Okay.
But she also likes the cool morning walks too. She was wearing her hoodie and she was feeling the cold weather, and she likes that.
How common is it of you to drop her off to school in the morning?
It's not common for me to do it most of the time, but I'm up here and I'm helping out as much as I can and working, so she was trying to get as much sleep as possible. I was doing the school run this morning.
Okay. Do you live here? Do you live somewhere else, or what's that look like?
I live here, but I split my time between here and my parents' place down south in Northport. They're getting on in years and they need some help.
Got it. Okay. For how long have you lived here with them?
Oh gosh, years now. A couple of years maybe now.
Okay. And what does your time splitting look like? Are you here for days, weeks, months, something else?
Weeks at a time, yeah.
And so, I guess when did you arrive this block of time that you were here?
Day before yesterday, actually.
So, Saturday?
Yeah.
I think. So you got here Saturday night. Got it. And it's down in Northport that you actually split your time with. When did you start splitting your time between here and Northport?
A little while ago, my dad, I was working at Disney for a while, and my dad was coming up and getting lunch with me. Started discussing how they're getting on in years and they're going to need some help soon, and they'd really need me to come back down and help them out.
Was that this year or last year?
Last year heading into this year, yeah.
Gotcha. So like December.
Yeah, they're already making end-of-life plans, so...
Oh no, well sorry to hear that.
Yeah, at least they're getting a plan together now.
So normally, if you do drop her to school in the morning, although it's typically not you, is that typically what she requests is to be dropped? Is that from everyone or just because of your car?
She doesn't mind getting dropped off much. It's the nicer white Sentra over there. But it is very common for her to get dropped off down the road and want to walk up and find her friends and kind of hang out.
Does she typically hang out with her friends only at school, or does she have any in the neighborhood here?
She doesn't have any in the neighborhood here, but she does have friends from school that she gets together with on weekends and whatnot.
Okay. So after you dropped her off sometime between 8:25, 8:40 area, do you remember?
I left my phone at home, so I wasn't sure what the...
Gotcha. That's fine. Do you remember what you did after? Or?
Yeah, after I left her, I was watching her in the rearview mirror. I was just driving away, and she looked like she was making her way towards the school like normal, so I went on with my day. I went over to the vape shop nearby. They were not open yet. So I came back home, hung out for a little while with Jen, and then after about an hour, I went to check the vape shop again, and they were open, so I took care of my stuff there, and it became a normal day.
Okay. So, just to go through I asked Jennifer the same questions, just to go through everyone's days, but just to go through yours. So you dropped her off at school, and you said you went to the vape shop?
Correct.
They weren't open?
Correct.
Do you remember about what time you got home?
Got home around maybe 10:15.
Gotcha. And was Jennifer here?
Yeah, Jen was here. She had been sleeping in. Her new work schedule has had her kind of messed up, so she was trying to sleep in as much as possible.
Gotcha. So when you got back around 10,
she was just
waking up.
Yeah. So we hung out for a little while, chit-chatted. Then I went and checked the vape shop again, got my stuff, came home again, hung out for a little while. We talked about maybe, doing some BJ shopping or something after we picked up. And then she wanted to take a nap again. I had a couple errands I needed to run, so that worked out fine.
Sorry.
I wanted to check out a couple of the card game shops in the area.
Oh, okay.
One of my trading card games just had a new release, so I just wanted to look at stuff. Ended up getting a flat tire.
Okay.
So that's why my hoopty's on.
Where'd you get a flat tire?
192. That was hair raising.
And that was when you were out shopping during the day?
Yeah. And that was between the hours of noon and like 2.
Okay. Got it. And then so after...
we needed to leave by 2:30 to go get in line and get ready to pick up.
Got it. So you guys went and picked her up together?
That was the goal. Yes, I was going to go with them, but I ended up getting a flat tire. So
you couldn't?
Yeah, I got back literally 10 minutes after she left, apparently.
Got it. And so forgive me, I missed something. I kind of missed it in the middle of there, but you got back home around 10. You hung out with Jen, and then y'all just kind of hung out, and then did you separate to go shopping, or?
She took a nap, and then I went and ran my errands.
Okay, got it. And then around noon or 2 o'clock, is when you got flat tire, and she was leaving to pick up.
No. So when we hung out first, I had gone to the vape shop, which was now open, to get my vape, and then came back and hung out more. And then we separated, and I did my errands, and she took a nap.
Got it.
That was around noonish when that.
Got it. Okay, I just want to make sure I had that straight. So you went back to the vape shop. Which vape shop is it? Where's the vape shop around here?
E-cigarette online on John Young.
Oh, okay. I didn't know there was one around here.
E-cigarette, e-smoker, e-something online, but I've been going to them for a while. I think I'll remember their name.
And you made it out there about what time, you said?
That was probably just after 11 that I finished up there.
Okay. Got it. Now, can you remember the day prior to Monday? Do you remember, I guess if anything happened between Saturday night and Monday when you were here that might have sparked wanting to...
She was so happy.
Okay. Because party, right?
And all three of us are together, and she was just so happy.
Tell me about Sunday night. Tell me about Sunday into Monday. What you remember?
She just had a party. She was excited.
Sorry. It's okay.
Just talking about crushes. Her her singing that was coming up, and he wanted me to come see her sing. Nothing bad. She was just happy. She was very happy. Everyone was happy. It's nothing out of the ordinary. I can't remember anything particular that happened. I showed her the movie Sister Act.
Ah, okay.
She was singing so well, I told her she reminded me of the choir. When we got their stuff together and started singing better, I wanted to show her.
Gotcha. So Sunday night, how do you decide, like, who's going to get her ready for school in the morning and everything?
I take her to school in the morning so she can sleep in as much as possible.
Okay.
I agreed. I've done the school run a few times before. It's not usually my forte, but I don't mind helping.
And so Jennifer shared with me, typically you normally sleep in the upstairs guest bedroom.
Yeah.
And then she will sleep together in her own bedroom. But Sunday, so Jen could get better sleep, she said she just sent you both upstairs, correct? Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Do you remember about what time you went to bed and woke up?
Bed, probably 11, quarter after. Wound up after her party. And we were getting up really, really early so we could make good time getting out of the door, so we got up around 7.
Yeah, y'all left pretty early.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see Jen at all in the morning? Or was
Yes.
she still asleep?
Yeah, I saw her a couple of times. I was in and out of her room talking to her.
Got it. Okay. And that was before you left around, what time did you leave? About 8:30?
No, earlier than that, we made such good time. I mean, we were so impressed. We made such good time getting out the door. I mean, we were probably out by 7:30, 7:45.
Okay.
Because we wanted to get McDonald's breakfast. We had been talking about it anyway. She ended up not wanting it after all.
Got it. Any trouble at all recently at home?
No, not recently.
No arguments that you can remember between her and you? Anything that's upset her?
Not for a while.
When was the last time?
Maybe a month. Typical, mood swing stuff. She has some pretty bad PMS when she gets it, and being a teenager on top of it doesn't help.
Okay. I know all about it. Now you said I think you said she left her phone, right?
Yeah.
Where did she leave her phone at?
She left it in her room. She's ADHD. So am I, for that matter. So
you
is
left your
Mom.
phone too, huh?
Yeah. So we try to be on top of her about that, not forgetting things, but we're also a bit forgetful too.
Got it.
But yeah, it's not uncommon for her to forget everything. That
she leave it in her room or
in
the
she left
bedroom?
it in her room. She must have been grabbing her shoes or a hoodie or something and set it down, and that's just how it goes.
Okay. Got it. Gotcha. Is it typical of her, I guess, to forget things like that?
Yeah, very, very typical.
Cool. Got it. All right, man. Well, I mean, you know her better than I do. Is there anything you can think of that, as someone who doesn't know her, that I might be missing out on here? Like, somewhere she may like to be, or somewhere she...
Everything that everywhere that we think she could possibly be, we've checked. And I mean, literally, the whole family is just...
So you know that the deputies found the video from the church last night of her in the parking lot.
We heard that they saw someone.
So can you think of a reason that she might have gone and waited in that church that's across the street for a couple minutes before she would have headed back off to school?
No. I mean, she had time to kill, so I don't know. She said she was going to hang out and find her friends, but when I left her, she was on the other side of the street, rummaging through her backpack and just kind of moving towards the school area, so it looked normal.
What do you think she was looking for?
I assumed she was just looking for some headphones or something for her walk, but she might have been looking for her actual phone.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I mean that's all I can really think of at the moment. I think I have a phone number for you. I tried calling you earlier, but you might have just been asleep.
Yeah. So sorry.
No, it's okay. 256-1832.
That's correct.
Gotcha. What's your address when you stay down south?
When I'm down south, it's my parents' house, so I do not like being there if I can help it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's nice of you to help them out.
Yeah, it's just a stressful environment full of poodles and deaf old people.
So after you dropped time at around 8:20 or so, you didn't to get to the vape shop, do you have to like swing back around at all to where the school area is? Is there any chance she saw your car or something and was flagging you down? Or
No, I basically just turned around right there.
okay, so there's no chance she would have like seen you from that church parking lot when you were swinging back around to the vape shop?
I would have already been gone at that point.
Okay, got it. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm just trying to figure out, what might have caused her to go there and then what caused her to leave. Because I think she did stay there till about 8:50, just before school starts. When does school start? 9:30?
9:15, I think, is the latest that they should be there by. I think it starts around 9:20 officially.
Gotcha. Is she familiar with that parking lot at all? Is that somewhere she hangs out?
I mean,
or
a lot of the kids will sort of rendezvous there before heading into school.
Gotcha. Do you recall seeing any other kids walking in the area when you were dropping her off?
We were earlier than usual. She was confident that it was fine. She was just going to hang out and wait for her friends.
Okay. Did she mention that to you at all? Or
Yeah,
did she say anything?
I asked her, because we were a little early, we still had some time to go. I said, "You want me to wait with you?" She said, "No, just drop me right here. I'm going to walk up and find my friends."
Okay.
Which is something that she normally does anyway. It wasn't out of the ordinary. I agreed to it. She looked like she was making her way towards the school. And I went on with my day.
All right. Well, I appreciate you talking to me. I'm going to go ahead and end this. 12-23 hours.
One?
Sure.
Oh wait, I don't have my phone.
When we get it back, we'll go back to it.
It's, if you need to Google it, it's the Lab Corp across the street from the Loop in Kissimmee.
Okay, by the Loop, got it.
Had my appointment. I finished there sometime between 11:15. Then I headed home. When I got home, Stephan was there. I had talked to him a little bit earlier while I was waiting for my blood work appointment, and he let me know, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I left my phone at home by accident. School, everything went great. She got up super early, got up really quick. She slept most of the way in the car. I asked her multiple times if she wanted McDonald's, but she said no. Because that was the plan, was that they were going to stop at McDonald's that morning and go get breakfast.
Okay.
He said that he had gone to the vape shop and they were closed and they didn't open. So he waited there for a while and left, and then said he was going to go back later. When I saw him at the house, everything was normal. We were chatting, we were talking, he was acting normal. He was sitting in my computer chair just messing around on his phone. While we were hanging out, he mentioned something along the lines of, "Oh man, I've been avoiding this phone update for a really long time. I should probably update it now." And I said, do it. Don't avoid it. Just get it over with. And he updates his phone and then tells me, oh my god, I don't know what button I just pressed, but I just factory reset my entire phone. And I said, how the hell does that happen? That gives you options now when you reset your phone? He goes, yeah, apparently I wasn't paying attention and I just pressed the button and it happened. And I said, oh, that's unfortunate. That sucks. Later on, he tells me he's going to go back out, and I think this is around 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Still on Monday?
Yes, still Monday. 12:30 in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He tells me he's going to go back out. He's going to stop at a few gaming shops, and then he'll meet me at the house at 2:30 so we can get together. He left. I hung out in the house for a while. Was waiting for 2:30 to roll around. 2:30 rolls around, and I'm already calling Stephan, and he's not picking up his phone. 2:30 comes, I leave. About 10 minutes later, I get a phone call from him going, I just got back home. I left my phone home again. I'm so sorry. How long ago did you leave? And I said, about 10 minutes ago. He goes, I'm so sorry, I missed it. I really wanted to go with you. And I'm just like, it's fine. I figured he wasn't going to make it because when I looked at the time when he left and said he was going to visit 3 shops, I didn't think he had enough time to visit them. He told me while he was gone that he got a flat tire somewhere on 182. The wheel just shredded and fell apart. So he was changing the tire, and it took him a really long time to do it. He said he hurt his thumb while changing the tire, like the frame or something slipped and something pinched his finger, and he ended up having to yank it out. And he said he hurt his finger.
I want to touch on something real quick. When you were calling him, he eventually tells you that he left his phone there. Did you hear the phone at the house?
No. If it was anywhere, it would have been upstairs and I wouldn't have heard it. It would have been in the guest bedroom.
Do you typically go upstairs?
Who, me?
Yes.
Only if I'm doing laundry.
That was all. I was just curious if you had heard the phone when you were trying to call him that day.
I didn't. So he tells me all that. I get off the phone with him. I'm waiting. Wait for about an hour and 10 minutes. 4:04, the bell rings, and I'm waiting. I'm the first in line. And she doesn't come out.
You were in your car?
I was in my car, in the car line, yeah.
Okay.
At this point, it's been a few minutes. She should have been out by now, because she's usually one of the first kids out. She knows I'm in the front of the line. And I'm holding up the line behind me, because there's kids getting in the cars behind and they're all waiting. They can't get around me, right? So I start calling her, forgetting that I have her phone on me. I had found her phone earlier that morning. She had left it at home. And I brought it with me because she does this often. She does leave her phone.
Where was the phone at in the house?
It was on top of the dresser in her bedroom.
Downstairs or upstairs? I've never been in your house.
Downstairs.
Okay.
So, just so you know, I have a 4-bedroom townhouse.
Okay.
The living room has a partition in it, a fake wall kind of thing. That's got her bedroom in it. That's got a bed, a dresser, and a desk on it. Does she sleep there? No. She'll hang out there. She'll use her computer and hang out there. That's her hangout spot. But she primarily sleeps with me every night in my bed. That's because I know the roommates wake up super early in the morning. They're going to be in the kitchen. They're going to wake her up if she's sleeping out in the living room. So I don't.
So your bedroom downstairs, her makeshift bedroom downstairs, guest bedroom upstairs?
Yes.
Got it.
Her phone was on her dresser. When I found it, I was like, oh my god, she left her phone again. That's great. I brought it with me to the school because I was just going to yell at her and then just hand it to her so she could have something to do on our way home. On our way home. 4:10 rolls around and she's still not out, or 4:09. And then at this point, I'm feeling the pressure from the cars behind me. I'm like, okay, they're all full. They're all waiting for me to leave, and she's not here yet. So I take off, and I'm thinking, maybe I missed her. Maybe I forgot to tell her I was picking her up from school today, because I don't know if she knew that I wasn't working. I don't know if she knew if I was off. So I asked. I don't know if I told her that I was going to get her. So I left thinking maybe she walked. That's pretty close to school. If I can't pick her up at school, that's where I tell her to. I drove the path she would have walked. I didn't see her. I got to the office. And she goes, no, it's a little too early. And I said, okay. Let me go drive back down and wait along the path she would walk and just wait. And I parked and I waited. I waited. I'm not sure how long I waited. Maybe somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes. She still wasn't there, and I looked at the time and I'm like, okay, she should be back at my mom's office by now. Maybe she took a different path and I didn't see. So I went, no, she's still not here. And I'm like, that's really strange. So I call. I don't know if I text or I call. I think I text her. And I asked, hey, or I called her. I asked, and she said, no, she didn't make it to first or second period. And I said, what do you mean? She was dropped off close to the school. She should have been in school. She goes, no, she didn't make it to first, second period. I said, please check with the rest of your friends, see if she made it to any of her other periods. At some point in this, I emailed one of her teachers asking, actually emailed a few of her teachers and two of them responded. One of them said, no, she did not make it to class, and I checked her attendance for the rest of the day. She wasn't in school at all. Like, he sent me a screenshot of like her attendance and it said 0, 0, 0.
You still have that on the phone?
Yes.
Okay.
If you need to know what app, I'll tell you what app. It's a special school app.
Got it.
He said she was missing all day. And at this point, I start to panic and freak out because that can't be the case. She was dropped off. I had to go check her attendance at school, but the office had closed already. The lights were off. I could see a student sitting in there in the darkness, but I couldn't see any of the administrators or anybody in the office. Lights were off, everything was closed. They wouldn't allow me in. I think at this point the teacher had responded to me and told me she didn't make it to school at all. I start having like a freak out panic attack.
Are you still just you at this point? Is it you and Stephan?
It's me and my sister. And I want to say one of them is Catherine. I start panicking and I think at this point I call Stephan and I tell him, hey, because she didn't make it. She's absent today. There's no attendance of her at all today. I'm like, right now. And he said, okay, I'll be there. And he came to the office. And there for like 3 hours, I think. He said she was missing all day. And at this point, I start to panic and freak out because that can't be the case. She was dropped off. I had to go check her attendance at school, but the office had closed already. The lights were off. I could see a student sitting in there in the darkness, but I couldn't see any of the administrators or anybody in the office. Lights were off, everything was closed. They wouldn't allow me in. I think at this point the teacher had responded to me and told me she didn't make it to school at all. I start having like a freak out panic attack.
Are you still just you at this point? Is it you and Stephan?
It's me and my sister, and I want to say one of them, Catherine. I start panicking, and I think at this point I call Stephan and I tell him, hey, because she didn't make it. She's absent today. There's no attendance of her at all today. I'm like, right now. And he said, okay, I'll be there. And he came to the office. And there for like 3 hours, I think. Eventually I contact one of my friends whose husband works, or ex-husband works for OCP, or for you guys.
Orange County Sheriff's Office?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I messaged him and I talked to him and I asked him what I should be doing because you guys aren't responding quick enough.
Would you know his name? Where he works?
Yes. Nick Mann.
Okay.
Or Mahon.
Do you know what he does here?
I think he works for SWAT.
Okay.
Sure.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
He tell you to wait?
I can't remember anymore. I think he let us know that there were other kids missing in the area, which is why you guys weren't responding quick enough. I think an 8 and a 9-year-old had gone missing around the same time too, in a playground. They forgot to tell. They didn't tell their mom they were going to the playground or something like that. So all the cops were over there on that side of Hunters Creek. My sister's boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, whatever he is, thought it would be a good idea to go to the park and talk to a cop there and see if he could bring a cop back, and that's what he did.
Okay.
And then at that point, that's when the cops started asking us questions, taking a report. Interviewing me. They interviewed Stephan. They asked Stephan to take them back to the location where he dropped them off, and he showed them wherever he dropped her off. They were looking for cameras along the path, and I don't think they found any cameras along the way to see if there was any video recordings. I think.
Did Stephan go with them in their patrol cars, or did he drive himself and they followed? How did that work?
I think he went with them in the patrol car.
Okay.
Then they came back, and then that's it. Everything was done. The cops were done. We were done.
What time? You remember what time that was on Monday?
It was after dark. We'll say 8 o'clock.
What did you guys go do after that?
We were in separate cars, me and Stephan.
Video on Fox 35
with him sitting
to be on like a webcam.
Yeah, that was Zoom. He was sitting in the background for me.
Okay.
I was shopping, just looking at stuff. He likes to browse. It wasn't until like June of last year that I can go upstairs to the guest bedroom upstairs because I just he's not a very clean guy. He's kind of a little hoarder and a collector. So just my house was always a mess and never the way that I wanted it to look. Or the clutter just gave me anxiety. So I asked him to move upstairs and he did. And he lived upstairs until until December of last year. And then he moved to Northport, Florida with his parents because they had promised him a job, but that fell through. So we were in the process of trying to get him to come back up here to get his job back at Disney and for him to move back into the house for a little bit. I'm not sure long term. I know temporarily I was willing to accept him back.
Was that something out of convenience for him, or because you?
A little bit of both. We missed him, and I wanted to help him out, like make it easy, like give him a place, like a base to start at, and then for him to start looking for something else afterwards on his own. But yeah.
You obviously. Relationship of what happened already happened. I can't change that. Still going through his phone, his drive, like I told you.
It's so fucking disgusting.
So now he's in jail because of what we found on his phone, not because somebody came forward and reported that he was abused.
No, I know.
She's not old enough to consent. She's not old enough to have a thought process to even want anything that was happening to her. It's abuse. So he's in jail for that, but something caused what, right? We searched murder, because we can call it a murder. She didn't die naturally. She didn't overdose. She didn't have a heart attack. We circled murder on Monday. Something had to cause that. He's been having unrestricted sexual activity for a long time. He's getting what he wants from her, probably from you, and who knows whoever else, right? So it's not like he woke up or went to bed Sunday and he was like, you know what? I'm done with this, but I'm going to kill her. Something happened. People don't just wake up and like, you know what? They leave people, they break up with people, but usually things cause people to snap. Now what, you know what, and I'm in trouble, or I feel like I'm going to, or him being out, we can go even worse. She's pregnant.
That's what questions last night led me to believe when we started talking about her period.
I was told that her and her friend, and granted, I'm male, never had a period, but that somebody found it weird that they were no longer on the same cycle. Could be different because she's a teenage girl. Could be that she missed her period. Have you ever found a pregnancy test at home that wasn't yours?
I have 2 underneath the bathroom sink, but I haven't seen if they're still there or not.
Okay. But you haven't seen any used ones in the trash?
No.
Their relationship hasn't changed?
No.
Okay. So what do you think happened Sunday? Other than him killing her? What do you think made him snap?
I don't know. Theories, I keep hearing.
Tell me your theories, because here's the deal. We don't go home until she's found.
No, I know.
So what are your theories?
What I've heard is, what if she upset him and threatened to tell me and say that she was going to tell me and he needed to shut that down. That's the only thing.
What do you think?
I don't want to believe he killed her. But from what you guys are telling me, he must have killed her Sunday night and snuck her body out in the morning. That photo you guys showed me of her slept in the car.
You don't want to believe he killed her.
I want to believe she's still alive and that she got kidnapped, but that doesn't seem like that's the case at all.
Yeah.
I know my brain just wants to believe something else. I just want to believe she's still alive, she's out there.
Did he tell you he fucked up?
No. He acted so normal that day. He was like, I'm so impressed. We got out of the house so early. Like, she made great time. We had so much time to go to McDonald's, but she didn't want to. His story was so fun. Like, every detail was so believable. He's just been lying the whole time. Like,
What about that day in the car when you offered him a lawyer? Did you disclose anything to you there that made you feel like, oh fuck, he needs a lawyer?
No. He kept acting like he didn't know what was happening, and I'm like, don't you see forensics? Don't you see they took your phone? Like, something's happening. Like, I think they're gonna pin this on you. And I'm like, in my head I'm going, they have the wrong guy. Like, they're just honing in on the last person who saw her. But no, you guys knew more.
You never said, what did you do?
I've never asked him any of that. I still, even up until when we got here to the police station, I was convinced that he hadn't done anything to her at all.
Because of him or because of not wanting to believe she's deceased?
Because of him. Because I thought he was a good guy.
So up until this morning, you still think that it's not?
No.
You're talking about the other day?
Up until...
When we took him?
Yes.
Okay.
I forgot what day of the week that was.
So we're still going through his phone, his drives, like I told you, all his socials. We can date back to 2020. Based on the videos, it appears that was the start of the victimization. Okay, are we going to find anything in his phone with you?
No. We never done anything. We've never done anything.
Has there ever been a request for the two of you to participate in sexual activity with him?
No.
Regardless of you saying no or yes?
No, he's never asked that.
Okay. If we find pictures like that, is that going to surprise you? So if I'm in his Google Drive, if I have a sex crimes detective, a computer person look at his phone, and they tell me, hey Kevin, I found a picture engaged in sexual activity or borderline sexual activity, is that going to surprise you?
Yes, because that doesn't exist.
Okay. At any time during the course of your relationship, has he expressed that he has ever had sex with a child?
No. Not a child, but when he told me when he was in high school, he graduated high school like later, like older than 18.
Okay.
He dated somebody younger than 18. I think she was 15. But I don't know how old he was, 19, 20. But he was an older kid in high school. He graduated late. But he had a really young girlfriend. Her name was Kendall. And I thought that was weird. I was like, that's a little too young. He goes, no, it's fine. We were in high school. Everything was normal. Her parents loved me. Blah, 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 blah. But that's the only one.
Have you ever gone through his phone?
Who, me?
Okay. If you had to, knowing Stephan, knowing where he lives, knowing where he goes, how he conducts his life, give me your top 5. Because I know you've had to have thought about it. If you haven't thought about it, that's another weird thing I got. Since Monday, right? We told you on Wednesday that we think he did it.
Yeah.
So from Wednesday till today, it's about 48 hours. Give me your top 5 places you think are possibilities based on knowing him, based on knowing his path of travel. Where do you think, and it doesn't have to be based on evidence, just in your gut, give me your top 5 places where you think he
in this area.
Doesn't have to be this area.
No, I know.
Anywhere you want.
I'm saying in this area, I have no idea. Orlando, Kissimmee, no idea where he could have taken her. But his trip to Northport is weird as fuck. I feel like in Northport he knows more people. He has more friends. There could be a place and somewhere there he could have stashed her. You guys said he went into a storage unit. That would be another place to look. But there's plenty of woods around his house. Around that exit is kind of secluded. Like
When you say his house, you mean his parents' house?
His parents' house, yeah.
You've been there? Have you seen the property?
Yeah, I've been there before.
Do they have land? Or is it in like a neighborhood?
So, it's not a neighborhood because they don't have HOA. You just buy the plot of land and build it. They don't have many neighbors.
Okay.
Or last I saw, I think there was a neighbor building right next door, but I don't know if they're done yet. I just feel like he had more, there would have been more spots in Northport for her to be dumped. Because from what you guys have told me, he went to St. Cloud, he went to 192. Could you guys tell where he turned on on any of these roads? It's just that he was on the main road. I didn't think he ever even knew where St. Cloud was because we've never driven down that way ever.
You live in Kissimmee, right?
Yeah, I know, but to me, he's never had a reason to ever drive down to St. Cloud. Like, ever. There's no store or anything he goes to down there. Everything is in Kissimmee or Orlando by the mall.
Florida Mall?
Yeah.
LA Mall?
Yeah, Florida. I sent the last detective like 3 spots. I could have recalled him telling me he wanted to visit Monday when he left the house in the afternoon and got the flat tire. He had mentioned a few of those shops, so I sent them over to you guys. But there's honestly nowhere I can think of. We've never gone to named interest in being anywhere near.
In their words, high, incapacitated, drunk. It's an excuse to avoid.
Has so many wooded areas, and I feel like I don't know. He would be familiar with both areas. I just don't know him to ever drive down 182 super far down, like into St. Cloud. But I've known him to drive around all around Northport. But see, I don't want to say anything and like lead you guys down to Northport to do a search and nothing's there. I'm just.
We're gonna go everywhere.
We're searching the woods right now where she's not.
Okay. I just want to be like, I know you guys are like looking at me for the details, but I'm like, I don't want to send you on a wild goose chase.
You know him better than us. You gotta really think. I feel like you're becoming emotional right now. I feel like you want to tell us.
No, if I knew what to tell you, I would tell you. If I had the truth, I would tell you. I don't know anything.
Jennifer, where do you think you took her?
If I were him and I had to stash a body, but I would never do this. My mind would say to go to Lake Toho. There's a lot of woods there, there's a lot of gators. I'm gonna get vacators. I don't know where she is, guys.
Like I told you, there's going to come to a point where we will. Right? Volusia County Sheriff's Office just found somebody the other day that's been missing for a long time. People get found. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's not quick. I hope in this situation it's today, tomorrow, Sunday, but we will find her. What you need to think about is when we find her, is there an opportunity or a chance that we are going to prove that you did not assist us to your full capability in this investigation? And if that is true, you need to think about the consequences of that. Consequences of hindering a murder investigation or a capital sexual battery investigation could be punishable up to probably the same charges, the same time in jail. I know you know that I don't believe what you're saying, and I know you know that I think you prioritize Stephan, but do you prioritize jail? You see what I'm saying? Like, if we come back and prove that you sat in this room and misled us, that you didn't lead us in the right direction, or that you assisted, or you acknowledged, or you knew, you're going to need warning from jail.
If I knew anything, I swear I would tell you. I know nothing. He hasn't mentioned. We haven't discussed this. I had no suspicion of anything. He did not tell me any more details of where he went that day other than those shops that I had mentioned. I'm giving you my truth.
On any of the days that he came home after these suspicious outings, 192 trips, Northport trips, and everything else, did he change clothes? Did he come home and appear disheveled, sweaty, dirty?
I don't believe he showered. He didn't bring that many changes of clothes with him, so I know he's repeated his outfit over and over. It's possible he could have come home all sweaty and disheveled after the supposed changing the tire thing, but I wasn't home to see that. But other than that, I didn't see him come home dirty or sweaty or anything like that.
Stephan Stern has not only been charged with the connection with her death, but also with dozens of counts of child abuse stemming from potentially tens of thousands of images found on his Google Cloud account and a hard drive found by his father in a storage unit where he tried to hide it. This has been happening for years ongoing. How did anybody ever miss this? Or did the mother just simply not care?